Welcome back to another episode of Life Through Her Eyes. I'm your girl, Debbie.
And I'm Jackie.
We're so happy to have you all back. Thank you again for checking us out. We are in our 17th episode today. I can't believe it that we're already here. We just started this year, early 2025, as our little goal between ourselves to just kind of document the conversations we're having and want to share it with you all out there. Anybody who may want to take a look and a listen and maybe add some advice, give us some advice so that we can be better and do better. We're still figuring stuff out. So, again, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to us. Today, our episode that we wanted to talk about, or our topic of episode, I should say, is going to be the uncomfortable side of healing. So, hopefully, everyone you know, including yourself, is going through some sort of healing process, whether it's a physical healing process or an emotional healing or mental healing, whatever it might be. And so I think today we wanted to talk more about the uncomfortable side of it because a lot of people see people healed or looking and appearing to be healed, and because maybe in their younger years you saw them addicted to drugs or alcoholism affecting them, or they just couldn't get on their feet and get their life together. And now you see them and they look very put together, or they look like they're much better. And you're kind of like, wow, they make that look easy. And so we kind of wanted to be like, let's get a little vulnerable and talk about how it might not be that comfortable going through healing, but just like if you injure a body part and you have to, or get a plastic surgery or anything and you have to heal it, it's going to take some time to go through that. So we just wanted to kind of jump into that. So my first kind of thought with my experience of my healing that I'm still obviously going through. My dog would like to join the conversation. Okay, Coda. I can't talk right now. I'm filming. Okay? Sorry. Huskies are very talkative. So, in my part of healing, I think the part that's been uncomfortable for me is sorry. The part that's been uncomfortable for me is okay, hold on, Coda. You're gonna have to get the fuck out or do something else. No more talking. Thank you. I'm recording. Go. Go, go, go. No more talking. Be quiet. Okay?
This is not your platform, Coda. Get your own.
Coda, do not. I'm so
Actually,
no.
he's been on here. Maybe he's like,
Coda.
this is my channel too now, chicks. My
Coda,
channel now
stop
too.
it. What do you
He's like,
want?
no, I'm the
You're so
mascot.
annoying. My part that has been uncomfortable in my healing process was really just having to face myself, to face the fact that, especially as a perfectionist as I am, although I know that perfection isn't a real thing, but I really strive to be the best version of myself at all times, or most of the time. I definitely fall short. But with that, having to actually look in the mirror and examine the things that I've done wrong, the way I've mistreated people that I love, or maybe didn't do the best job when I was at work and got fired for a real reason. Like it wasn't because of them mistreating me. I honestly think I've deserved to be fired from most of my jobs for some of the stuff that I've done, but the jobs have liked me and kind of looked past those things. But so for me, it was really kind of facing my demons and being accountable and then adjusting. For instance, an example for me is I get very angry. Instead of being sad about issues or problems, so to speak, I get frustrated about them. And I feel like for me, my frustration fuels me doing something about it versus when I'm sad, it puts me in a state of wanting to sleep and do nothing about a thing. So I guess I've leaned towards because of my childhood, and I kind of consciously choose to be frustrated. But now, instead of allowing my anger to take over me when I'm frustrated, I allow myself like a brief period of time to be mad. And then I, as quickly as possible, redirect myself and go, okay, you got that out. Now
Now
what?
it's time to work.
Now let's do
Mm-hmm.
the thing.
Yeah.
In traffic, if I get frustrated with something, because I do still have a little bit of road rage, I'll be like, what, like learn how to drive.
You, you,
And then I know, right?
no.
Surprising. Psh, I'm an angel. But in those situations, I might be, "Ugh," but I don't hold on to that all day anymore. I might have in the past when I was younger literally thought about that situation for days. Like that person cut me off and called me a bitch or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm mad about it for a really long time. And it's like my brain just keeps replaying it.
Mm.
Now I've been learning through my healing process and through meditation and things like that.
Yes.
I've been
Yeah.
able to be like, no, I have control over my thoughts and I can
Yeah.
decide not to keep thinking those and then change and my thoughts by putting something else new there, like maybe listening to a podcast or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. That's good. Mm-hmm. That's a
Yeah.
good thing
So
for sure.
how about you, Jackie? Is there anything that you feel like you've experienced in your healing process that has been a little uncomfortable or something that maybe behind closed doors other people might not have known and you're willing to share?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot, a lot.
Because you're a
I
healed
mean,
woman, or you are a healing woman, because I've definitely known you for now
healing.
29 years. You've definitely grown and matured a lot. And so
Appreciate
I'm super
that.
proud of you. So I definitely
You
personally
too,
want to
Deborah. I
know.
mean, I love watching the healing woman that you are, and that in the stages of it, right? Because it's a process. It's a
Yes,
process. There's
absolutely.
phases. There's intermissions.
Girl.
There's
Pause it.
all sorts of it.
Yeah, that is
It
the
is a
intermission, I
journey.
guess. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's great.
And that's part of it, right? It's all part of it.
Right.
And I feel like I want to add the fact you made the comment of how this is the uncomfortable side of it. It's not the side that I agree that I feel I don't see people talk a lot about it, or it's not addressed as much on mainstream media or social media. You see all this, like, oh, it's a glow up, soft girl era and all that stuff, and
Right.
there's another side. There's a lot of solidarity in it. I know for myself, I've had to set a lot of boundaries in my
Yeah.
healing process. To come to know where I need to be, I have to set a good homeostasis around me, right? I need to have a good environment where I can heal, and to be able
Right.
to have that peace, that safe space, I got to set boundaries, because
Boundaries.
I've had a lot of
Sure.
walls up that I'm trying to disarm myself,
Hmm.
and all while realizing that certain things are good boundaries and certain things are just shutting people out.
Yeah.
And it's a process to get to knowing the difference. I think you just got to be real with yourself, but setting those boundaries, what it does is it cuts a lot of people off, because you don't need to be going back into bad behaviors and in the environments that you're not going to be at your best, right?
Right.
um
Absolutely.
so to do that, yeah, you got to
Just
back off
like
from
you wouldn't
people so it can be
expect
lonely.
your plant to grow in the environment it wasn't expected to grow in. If
Right.
you have an indoor plant outdoors, it's probably going to die faster. If you have an outdoor plant indoors and it's not
Right.
getting the amount of sun it needs, you're also going to
Hmm.
kill the thing. So, same with humans, we need
Exactly.
to be in a proper environment that will help
Yeah.
our growth and development,
Yep.
not diminish it. And
Absolutely.
if you have a group of people around you that is either lifting you up and making you a better person and challenging you to be a better version of yourself, or people who are trying to drag you down and get lower and do things
Right.
closer to death, basically, than uplifting you and giving life to
Mm.
your life, or adding life to your life, I should say.
Exactly. And not to say that because I don't step out and put myself around people that I could, doesn't mean that that they're bad people, or that they would,
Right.
bring me down. It's just a matter of I need to be in a certain space where I'm doing things that will benefit me.
Right.
and maybe putting finances in certain places. I don't need to be doing that because then I'm going to be more stressed out about things and now my peace is diminished. And so it's just kind of like the patterns of behavior that I know to I need to be better about. And it can be lonely. For me, it helps me to set those boundaries to keep that peace. But it makes it lonely sometimes. Same thing with trying to build a relationship, right? When you're at certain places in your healing process, you have no business being in a relationship.
Oh my God, that is
I'm not
so
saying
true.
and I don't want to totally blanket it for everybody. I think there are exceptions to every rule. This does not go for everyone. I am saying for me to be in that healing space, I do this best single. I do this best single.
Word.
So, and I'm aware of this. So it is lonely, but it's for the better.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. No, I agree. It can be. I think that's funny that you say that aspect of the loneliness, because to me, my part of my loneliness is because of me going through this healing process. If I am choosing to date, my standards and boundaries are so much different than they were
Mm,
before, that
mm,
it seems like I have a much smaller group or pool of men that I will allow in
mm,
my close circle. So that makes it a lot lonelier, because there's a
mm,
lot more vetting essentially I have to do if I want to invite a man to be a partner or even potential partner. And so
because
that
you're
can
not
make
going to
it lonely,
settle.
because I'm not going to settle. I want a man that will build with me. I will build with him. We can build together, like kind of like that HGTV, those little couples that one might be like, the girl might be the one designing and the guy's the construction worker and he does all that. And like together they come together and make these beautiful houses, but they're also creating like a kingdom, I mean an empire for their family basically. And I think that's incredible. And maybe not in that specific way or even in that way. I don't know. I would like to have a man that is willing to see me as a partner, not just as his wife, but as
Mm,
someone who can add something to him and who he can also add to me. And that we
right.
can enjoy that symbiotic relationship. And I think even just coming together and coming up with whatever rules that we want to have, instead of just the traditions of society or what our parents did or grandparents or whatever. Just if I can find a man that could honor and respect me and is hardworking and all these things that I have, like I would be fine too. But again, it can be a little lonely. Like right now, I'm not really talking to anyone, and the one person I am talking to, he almost never talks to me. So that's lonely too, because I'm like, cool,
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, but you give me almost no attention, which makes me be
Yeah.
like, I want to pull back even further from men in general, because
Right.
every single one has all these red flags. And I was like, why am I wasting my time at this point and energy when I could just be putting that into my life and my
Yeah.
business and my
Uh-huh.
children and my dogs and the success of all the other things. And then maybe when I'm super successful and have a even better dating pool, then maybe I'll have somebody who's what I'm looking for. But I
Right.
guess
Right.
the dating pool for what I'm in right now is not, it's looking like a pond, not a pool. Let's say that. It's a little
Or
murky
I've
pond.
heard there's definitely pee in the dating pool.
Yeah, yeah. There are definitely people peeing in this pool. I can
Right.
see that loneliness definitely plays in the part of the healing, because you set more boundaries and have higher standards.
Right. Right.
Because in healing, you
Absolutely.
generally learn from your past while you're healing.
Mhm.
So you're like, oh, won't tolerate that again.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I think also with that, sometimes it's a little bit harder to be vulnerable with other people, even just a coworker, a friend, A lot of times you don't want to just dump all the stuff of your healing. Hopefully, you have friends that you're close with that there's no boundary that you can't say to one another, right? Exactly. Like how I feel about you, like me and you. And that's the thing. There may be something that we want to say and maybe we don't say it immediately, but we eventually get there. Where it may be, I don't really want to say that because we've been in those situations, but it always comes out. We always get to it because we realize, oh, yeah, we probably should have said something when it came up, right? We know this and we know we can tell each other anything. And it's okay if we get irritated at one another. That's okay. It's okay if
It's
we
gonna happen.
disagree.
Yeah.
At the end, we love each other. And at the end, too, whenever we're at odds, there's always a growing moment. We normally always learn from something from it. And so hopefully everyone else out there can at least say they have at least one person that they can turn to. But it
Right.
can be hard. There's that loneliness that sends over into that side where who do we talk to about these things? And I'm hoping everybody does know there's phone numbers to call if you really, really don't feel like you can talk to anybody, or maybe you don't want people that are close to you to maybe know all these things. So there are avenues. So please understand there are. Anybody who's watching, don't feel alone. But that is that is one of the uncomfortable sides of healing. And sometimes we're in our own head about that, and that's not the reality. I know myself, I was going through some stuff today. I was like, I don't know who else I can go to. And I went to you, Deborah. I want our viewers to understand this. I went to Deborah. She was the first person I
Always.
told I needed a favor. And I don't know who to ask because I keep my circle so small.
Cheerio
And
small.
and even then on top of that, I don't really like feeling like I'm inconveniencing anybody. So I'm just like, oh, I don't even want to ask. And I kind of stepped back and I realized, no, Jackie, actually you can ask this person. So I did. And then I was like, oh, you know what? If that person can't do it, I can actually ask this person. And then I was like, what if it doesn't work out with that person? There is actually another person I could ask. And I just got to thinking, you know what? I want to take this moment to be thankful that I do have more people in my corner than I really realized. In that moment of feeling that sadness and that despair, that's the first thing you think is, who, I don't have anybody else I can turn to. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. That's that negative voice in there that we got to keep squashing. Cuz I did. And guess what? The first person that I ended up turning to in that moment, totally down for it. And is a great friend and reminded me, "Hey, we're friends. Like this is what we do. We help each other." And I'm like, yes. And it's just, that uncomfortable side where ourselves can tell ourselves some very negative things, and we got to remember that that's not the truth just because we might
Yeah,
think it.
absolutely. Another thing I think is really uncomfortable about the healing process, and that's why I kind of referenced us as healing and not healed, because
100%.
we're always healing in one way or another, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever it is. We always are going through different healing, whether it's healing with relationships. So I think another one that I feel that's uncomfortable is also realizing that I'm going to relapse. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm always still healing. So that means that there are going to be good days and there are going to be bad days. It ebbs and flows. That's how kind of healing is. And just being able to forgive yourself, for real. Just be like, it's okay. I didn't make the best choice right now, but what did I learn from that? How can I make a better choice the very next time I'm confronted with a situation? Forgive yourself, be kind to yourself, love yourself, and give yourself permission to continue to heal instead of feel like you need to go deeper and deeper and deeper into whatever your relapse is that you're relapsing. So I think that one, sometimes people feel like failures because they didn't get it all right away or didn't get to do it cold turkey. But cold turkey is not a good way for everyone. Like, just kind of like you were saying today with the pills, whenever you do different new medications, it's like a process, a slow process of weaning someone off of it after they've had to go through it for at least a month, right? So they go through this
Yeah.
process of how does their body feel for a month? And then after that, like if it's not good, now we need to slowly take our body off of this thing. And so everything is like a long
To
process.
change to
So
another thing that may or may not
exactly.
work, and go for that one for a little bit, see what the side effects are. Is that worth what it's doing? It's a
Go to
process,
sleep.
and
Go
it's
to right now, baby. Sorry. Go ahead.
that's just another part of that process too. And I will say the pharmaceutical route, I never found an answer for, like, that answered what I needed. There was a lot of trials, and I chose the alternative. I chose a more holistic side, and it was a beautiful way to find healing for some of the things that I was searching for healing for. I highly recommend, and that's one of the reasons why I am where I am now, in my feeling with the holistic care. And why I feel passionate about it is because I know the struggles that I had going through and trying to find that. I think that's another part too, the uncomfortable side. What is the healing that's going to work for me? And there's so many different healing modalities. Which
Totally.
route do you go? And that some of them are insanely expensive. I know one of the things I
That's
feel
also the
passionate.
uncomfortable part is the
Yeah,
price tag. That's uncomfortable.
exactly.
Holy crap.
Exactly. And then say you invest this into this kind of healing, there was a lot of money, and you didn't really get the benefits that you felt you needed out of it. And then come to find out, oh, this healing over here is what you needed. And it was like a fraction of that price, had you
Yeah.
known this one. But guess what? Having that fall through with that other one was part of that person's process. Not that this is a real example, but this happens. I know I went through these kind of things, and I feel like those ones that didn't quite do anything for me, that was part of it. I
Mhm.
had to realize that that wasn't for me. And just like we've talked about, when we listen to anything that we're learning, whatever we don't pick up, let it fall where it may. And what
Yeah.
resonates, that's what we should take with us. And in knowing those downfalls of it, the uncomfortable sides, it leads us to those light sides. That's the goal. But
Yeah.
along with it comes that journey, and that's what makes it, like, I feel like it's that cliche saying, right? It's the journey that counts.
And you're kind of failing into success. Like you fail your way to success because you
Yeah.
have to keep making mistakes until you overcome whatever it
Mhm.
is and you really fully learn from it.
So those, I want to say failures, right, help build that momentum that take you to that place where you find that healing, where you find oh, this is the thing. Those
Yeah.
things led you to that. So
Right. All of the things do.
and
Yeah.
what happens is, then down the road there's going to be other things that happen, because we're always on a healing journey. This is a
Literally.
consistent, we're always going to do this.
Always.
These, we're finding tools, is what it is. We're building those muscles, remembering the ways to use those tools to heal from this thing, so now next time something else happens, I know how to handle that.
And I can heal faster then. Just like
Exactly.
the exact same way
Mhm.
that our body does it with creating antibodies to create
Yep.
immunity to certain things, same
Mhm.
thing we can learn from our body.
Exactly. Exactly. But just like all of this too, the body's going to go through that uncomfortable side. It's going to be sore. You got to be really careful with it.
Just
Don't
because it's sore doesn't
re-injure
mean it's
it.
a bad thing what we're going through either. Sometimes people
Exactly.
find it to be sore and uncomfortable and they're like, oh, I'm going to take it as a sign that this is no good. Nope, nope, nope. That's not what you do. You take it as a
Right.
sign that everything is going to be a little uncomfortable. When I do massage
Mhm.
for people and
Yeah.
I massage
Yeah.
certain sore areas of their body and they're like, ow, that hurts. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it does because your muscle hurts and I'm pushing on a hurt muscle. So
Yeah.
of course it's
I
going to
got to
hurt,
work this out. Yeah.
but I have to work the area out. And if I don't do it, then you're just going to stay hurting forever
Yeah.
until you
And
decide to
it'll compact. Like, you're going to, like, feel
just going
worse.
to get worse and worse and worse. So when
Mhm.
people are on my table, they know
Yeah.
this is therapy. What Deborah is doing, she is a
Yeah.
neuromuscular therapist, a manual and lymphatic drainage therapist, a massage therapist. all the things
Yep.
is a therapy. So
All
it is
those.
not, I'm not doing just like relaxing massage. We are in a
Exactly.
therapy session. And if
Mhm.
you want to feel better, we're going to address those hurt issues. And you don't even need to tell me because my hands will figure it out because
Yep.
I find everything.
Yep.
And
You do.
it's,
Man, I will say you worked me out so good. You do so good, Deborah. Your healing hands are just amazing, amazing. And I know with what I do, I get all I hold all my stress on my shoulders. And yeah, yeah, you get right in all the places that it's like I can't get that by myself.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm so happy to be able to do it. It's really, truly my passion, something I love to do. So I get paid to
Mhm.
do what I love.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
because of that, I feel very rewarded, very blessed to be able to
Mhm.
have found the thing that I love and I can make a good living off of it.
Right,
And really,
right.
truly, truly make a difference in
Make a
people's lives.
difference.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's incredible being able to see people go
Sure.
from being in a 10 out of 1 to 10 scale of pain and then leaving
Yeah,
with a 0 or even a 2 or a 3, and they're
yeah.
like, oh my god, I couldn't not think about this pain, and now I'm
Mm.
off the table and I'm walking around and I'm like, I feel nothing, like it's so mild now, like, oh, this is
Yeah,
crazy. Oh, I can use my body better. Oh, I
yeah.
used to not be able to reach
More
over my head,
mobility.
now I can reach over my
Exactly.
head. I love that, but I have to warn them every single time, this is going to be painful. If
Yeah,
you cannot breathe through it and get through the pain, then maybe I'm not going to be a good therapist for you, because if you want to feel better, we have to address it. Just like in healing, like we're talking about, it's uncomfortable. There's
yeah.
some level of discomfort to
Mhm.
healing, but does that mean healing's not worth it? Absolutely not. You clearly still need to heal. Just like if
Mhm.
someone, I tell clients, well, if you broke your bone right now, say your forearm, you broke your forearm right now, and you went to a hospital even an hour or two after it, it's going to hurt way worse when that doctor resets that bone.
Yeah, it does.
Many
They
times
say it
worse
does.
because
I've heard it does. I've never broken a bone, so I don't know, but
me
I've heard it
too.
does.
Yes. But yeah, I've heard it does. But I say to my clients whenever they want me to avoid that area, I'm like, if you broke your arm and you found out a doctor was going to have to reset it and it was going to hurt worse and you are going to be in more pain for a longer period of time later, would you just say, no, doc, I'm cool, I don't want to go through that? Or would you be like, bring on the drugs, just do the thing, put me
Just do
out
the
if you
thing.
can so I don't have to remember it, you know?
It's like when you put
And
your arm socket back in place, right?
oh gosh,
Like it's
yeah.
gonna hurt, but then
Excruciating,
it'll feel
but
better. Then it'll feel
yeah,
better. I
yeah.
said better,
Literally within a
better.
minute it'll feel better, but yeah. Yeah, so there's necessary pain. That's my
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
There's sometimes we put ourselves through unnecessary pain by being in wrong relationships or whatever. And then other times it is a necessary pain. I need to
Yeah,
address this wound from a past relationship or this hurt muscle or my relationship with a family member. Both of us just did that recently, like kind of made amends with family members that were struggling with having a relationship with because of not seeing eye to eye in a lot of ways.
right.
So, I mean,
Mhm.
that's always good. And again, process. We
The
can guide
process.
other people, but that doesn't mean that
Exactly.
we're always in a good place with
Mhm.
everyone in our lives, because when we set those boundaries, sometimes that person is no longer in your life for a while because of those boundaries. And
Right,
whenever
right,
they're willing to honor those boundaries, they will show back up and honor those boundaries
right, right.
if they're meant to be.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad both of us did
Yeah,
that. So look at us healing,
absolutely.
just healing day by
Yes.
day.
The glow
Yes.
up.
Mm. Glow up in our 40s. What? 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 What?
Yes.
Next week, we're
No.
actually going to do at least an episode because my 40th birthday's next week. My girl just turned 40 a couple weeks ago. So we are going to be partying. And so we're going to
Yes.
do at least one or a couple episodes, maybe again together. So we're super excited about that. Maybe have some guests on. So we hope that you get to watch those as well and enjoy hearing
Yes.
from some of my closest friends who are coming together to celebrate my birthday with me and hear some of their wisdom
Yes.
as well, because we all have so much to share, and that's why community is so important. It is
So
so that
important.
we can share our gifts, our knowledge, our wisdom, our
Mhm.
understanding on things,
And
and
our pain,
and
right?
our pain. We can share the
Hmm.
pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
share
Yeah.
share the burden
Mm.
that we're all carrying. So we're again very community oriented. Everything that we're thinking about for our future is
Yeah.
based and centered around the community and serving you all and each other and our family and
Yeah.
friends. And so I hope you all can feel that from our hearts to yours, that this is why we're doing this channel, not because we care about being rich or famous, but
Mm.
because we just want to find our community
Yeah.
and hope that we can all share light with one another and just make this world a better place than we found it.
Absolutely. All day long. I think those are all great points. And I do know there's a lot of other uncomfortable sides to healing. So if any of you all that are watching this, have one to add, leave it in the comments. We'd love to bounce back and forth. We want to always provide a safe space here for you to talk about anything you want to, with keeping in mind this is a respectful place. So please, let's not do the hating on each other or any of that here. This is not the space for that. But anything that will be a contribution to it, we want to hear it. We want to lift you up and talk about it if you'd like to. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you watching, and join us again. We can't wait for it.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.